Whoa. Dell Poweredge 2950. Come on. Let's dive in and break her down. This is going to be fun. All right, so let's see. I think we're going to get the faceplate off of here first. There we go. Now there is some method to my madness for why I'm doing this. This is ferrous because there's the hard drive caddy slots. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 6 of those bad boys. And they're nothing terribly exciting. They're 147 gigabytes. You know, they're kind of odd server type hard drives. Still, they'll go in with the SATA. So there's the SATA connection. So they'll just go in with the SATA boards once I get them out of the caddies. All right, now they open up real easy. So from the top, now you can see this is a really nice arrangement here. We've got 2 CPUs in here. We've got some nice peripheral cards. Not sure what's going on here. One of the heat sinks came loose. That's all right. I was going to take it out anyway, so it didn't really matter. All right, so get these fans out of the way. And we're going to get some wire disconnected. There's a lot of gold connector end wire here if you are connecting or keeping the connector ends to sell the board sort. Otherwise, it's just number 2 wire. Here's a RAM stick. And as always, my yard does not require that I cut off the ends for number 2, and they still give me a good price for number 2. So that's just for those of you that are new to the channel, because I'm always picking up new subscribers. I love that. Okay, now like with a lot of servers, it's a game of understanding what needs to come out in what order in order to work your way through the server. They can be a little bit tricky sometimes. But whenever I can, I try to get the obvious wire out of the way first. Looks like this peripheral card wants to come out. So we have a real nice peripheral card on a metal caddy, a couple of screws holding it on, so we'll get to that. Wire. Okay, now usually you see these little blue things. That's a clue for helping you to remove stuff. All right, so that had to get loosened up a little bit, but now we have Goldfinger card. We'll get the heatsink off of that. And that is a nothing. You could throw it in with your, if you leave the fingers on, you could throw it in with your backplanes. But, you know, it's really not even much of a backplane board. It's just got this one slot. So I'm going to take the fingers off. I'm going to take off the MLCCs and then throw the rest in with my low grade. And then we have some cast aluminum brackets right there. More wire. More wire. An oscillator. I don't even keep oscillators anymore. Why'd you come off? I didn't want you. All right, now you want to come out of the way. It's another one of those gold finger cards. This should come up now without any trouble. Another backplane. But again, there just isn't a, you'll see when I take it off of this, there isn't much on there. Let's get that CMOS battery out of the way before we forget. Get these RAM sticks out of here. Now, I have a video on shielded RAM sticks, whether or not it is worth the time to take the shielding off. So that video will either be at the end of this one or it'll be linked up there for you so that you can decide if you want to go through that trouble. We have another slot card here. Gold finger card. Very nice card here. Hey Ray, let's get our CPUs out. So we have a real nice copper aluminum radiator. Your yard may have a category for copper aluminum radiators, or it may just go as, they may have a separate category for copper aluminum heat sinks. My yard, my non-ferrous yard, takes those as right in with the copper aluminum radiators. Radiators, however you like to say it. All right, we got two CPUs here. These aren't going to be anything special. I don't know, for those of you that are curious. Xenons. All right. We need to get some stuff out the way. There we go. Time to do a little unscrewing. Hopefully I got the right Torx in here. Yep. All right, I think that's all the Torx. Now, these guys here, so these guys can be a real problem the first time you go into some of these servers, because you may not recognize that these are also holding the board down. They're also a little bit challenging because if you have a typical sockets aren't deep enough to get over them. So what I have found works pretty well is I take these vice grip channels, grab hold of it, give it a couple of twists to loosen it up, and then I can unscrew it easily enough with my hand. By the way, if you like these, they're available on my Amazon store. And yes, when you follow the link on my Amazon store, I get a small percentage of the sale. So I thank you for that. But I also use that and put it towards the Shark Scrapper Shark Adoption Project. So if you're trying to figure out ways that you can help out with the Shark Scrapper Shark Adoption Project 2 for 22 campaign, then that's a very convenient way to do it, because you can get the tools you need and want, and at the same time be helping with our shark research efforts. All right, we see some more blue tabs here. So that comes out. We'll take a look at that one in a minute. There's a couple more of these. Very inconvenient. I mean, very nice. Get the power supplies out too. These are real easy on servers because they're designed to get swapped out. Okay, I think that's all the screws. So the last thing that you look for is something like this blue knob that you can pull up on, and you should see the board flex a little bit. That'll tell you that you're loose. And slide back to unlatch, and out it comes. If they're fighting you, if it still feels like it doesn't want to come out, then you've either missed a screw or a pull tab or something, because once you get all the screws out and latched properly and stuff like that, it should slide out. You may need to give it a little shove back or a little shove forward, back, whatever, because it may have little latches on it. Now it is loose from the main housing. It's still on a metal tray, and that metal tray, in order to get away from that, we need to get these screws off of here. Now when we go to pull this out, we can see there's a tab right over here that's going to be a little bit in the way. Plus, this piece needs to come off. It has a screw right here. That last screw, get that piece off. Now, it's just a question of giving it a couple of tugs and bends to get it off of the sheet metal. Okay, now, I want to get this last heat sink off. Just clip the prongies. That's the technical term for those, prongies. Huge gold corner BGA, a flip. If you're a depopulator, there's a lot of stuff on this board that's good for depopulating, and a lot of stuff not to waste your time on. Don't waste your time on these kind of chips, but that could be a good one. You've got all kinds of ICs. Here's another gold corner BGA. You've got big chunky MLCCs, tantalums, oscillators, BGAs, more oscillators, more ICs, more flat packs. So there's a plethora, I don't get to use that word in a sentence frequently, plethora of things to depopulate if you have to, or if that's what you're into. But I'm selling this to Board Sort as a dual metal small socket server motherboard. So I am not going to depopulate anything because I'm selling it to Board Sort. Now, this backplane board should come off relatively easily. Yeah, if you have a backplane board like this and it fights you, it probably means that there's still a hard drive caddy that's in this way and holding it. All right, this little board here is a Phillips head. All the rest of them are Torx. This is a Phillips. I don't get it. I don't understand. So, nothing exciting about this board. I'm just going to chuck this in with my mid grades because there's a few components and MLCs and such. So, into the mid grades you go. This is a CD drive, DVD drive. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to leave that there. But you might, some people are motivated to go after the gold connector end. There are some copper tabs right here, the little grounding tabs. It's real easy to just take your screwdriver, slide it in there, a flathead screwdriver, and they'll latch onto the screwdriver, or they'll just fall out. Either way, they're convenient to get. That's not a lot of weight, but hey, it's still a little bit of copper, right? All right, now this board, this server shell is, as far as I'm concerned, done. But I want to chuck some things in here, like these pieces of shred that I'm going to take the rest of these boards off of. There you go. Easy enough. This board, as you can see, there really isn't anything on this board other than the gold fingers and a couple of MLCCs. It's relatively easy to get the gold fingers off. You just take these, or the big daddy of that one, because it comes in a set with 2 sizes. So this big daddy works pretty good for popping the fingers off. And then what I do is, you'll notice on a line like this, there's some little dots right behind the gold finger. So I just try to line up right at the edge of the gold finger, give it a little bit of a twist. You'll feel the board give a little bit, and then that comes off clean. And then you've got these 2 MLCCs. They come off as well. Okay, now we have these cast aluminum peg holders, and we need the smaller Torx head for that. That's just cast aluminum. And an MLCC that ran away. All right, low grade board, because there's nothing there now. Probably should just go and shred. All right, what else do we have that's on some steel? We have this board here. It's easy enough to get these screws out, so I'm just going to use my hand screwdriver. They're pretty short screws. We have copper grounding strap right there. Let's get you out of there. A couple more of those. Now we have another backplane board here. Gold connector in. So with this backplane board, you can see there's nothing, there's really no components of any great interest on this. So we're going to pull the cast aluminum peg holders and get these fingers, and then throw this in with the low grade. Here we have, I'll show you one of these. So, cast aluminum heatsink. Well, it's heatsink. My yard doesn't have a aluminum heatsink category. They buy those from me as extruded aluminum. And here we have a gold finger card. That's kind of that's interesting. It looks like a gold BGA, gold cornered BGA, but it's got 1, 2, 3 corners that are gold. So Chris is going to love that board. Let's see, what other interesting boards did we have here that we wanted to look at? Oh yeah, this one here. Let's go ahead and get the pegs off of this one. So with this board, there isn't much after you take off the cast aluminum peg holders. You've got some MLCCs, and then you've got the gold fingers, and then it's a low grade board. All right, this board is going to be interesting because once we get it out of here and get the heatsink off of it, this is probably going to be a peripheral high. And these are Phillips or a 1/4-inch socket. Again, it's not a very long screw, so it's no problem to just use the hand screwdriver. And we're going to get that heatsink off of there. Ah, well, I stand corrected. It is a Goldfinger card. We took the heatsink off of it already, and there's no brackets, so you could sell that as a Goldfinger card. And this one, we said we're going to take the gold fingers off and throw this in with the low-grade boards. We'll do that off camera. All right. I have all the metal in here now that I want to get rid of, so we're going to go ahead and close this up. I wanted to show you this little handles here. Those are cast aluminum, so if you're really into wanting to get every little bit of aluminum off of these things that you want, that you can get. I almost forgot to show you this. So that's cast aluminum. There we go. Put that with our aluminum. Get this out of the way. All right, now with these power supplies, I'm just going to put these in with my power supplies, no wire. But I am going to take these copper straps off first. Just come in and grab them, give them a little pull. These are a little bigger than the other ones that I was popping off. And I found that if I take my flathead in here like I was doing before, I can usually get one side off, but then the other side wants to fight me, and I end up coming in here and giving it a light grab with my edge cutters anyway. So this way I can just, you don't want to press too, you don't want to squeeze your edge cutters too tight because you'll cut the copper, and that doesn't do you any good. Now, of course, if you're really into the gold recovery thing, and you like doing all the see what happens if you squeeze too hard, and you really like doing the micro scrapping, there's gold-plated pins right there, of course, that you can go after, and you can open up that whole power supply and scrap it down. I've done a video on breaking down power supplies as well. Hard drive. Screwed into a caddy. That's aluminum, cast aluminum, and this is just shred, unfortunately, ferrous. It's not stainless. That's not stainless either. So here's a little routine that I've set up for handling these. All right, now we switch to, I think it's the smaller Torx here. And in the caddies, there's two Torx screws holding the aluminum frame part in. And then we have, there's a little light strip running through the one side, but here we have the cast aluminum. And then that's just shred. I really wanted it to be stainless, but it's not. And then this part is just trash. Now the other interesting thing about this particular hard drive from this Dell server is it's got a gold cornered BGA. With my yard, I could knock that gold cornered BGA off and leave the rest of the board on, still sell it as a hard drive with the board on. So I'm going to do that. You don't need to watch me do that. That's just knocking off gold corner BGA. And then I'll sell this with the board on it. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And the links that are popping up are going to take you to maybe 1 or 2 of the videos that I suggested, as well as the little round one in the middle, which is a link to help you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And you want to do that so you don't miss a single valuable episode of the Shark Scrapper. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.